The War Without Mercy. The KRYTH Dominion had fought hundreds of species across 100 worlds, but they had never met anything like the humans. We called them soft, fragile, emotional, always trying to help the wounded, even their enemies. We thought that made them weak. We were wrong. The first time I heard the name Corpsman Elias Ward, it was from one of my own soldiers, bleeding, trembling, begging me not to go back out there. "He is out there," the soldier whispered. "The angel of earth, the one who doesn't let anyone die, not even his enemies." The Field of Fire. It was a battle of Typhon Ridge, a world of acid storms and molten rivers. Both sides were losing faster than they could count. In the middle of the chaos, reports started coming in. Human wounded were vanishing from the front lines, and so were ours. At first, we thought it was sabotage. Then the truth came through the battlefield comms. It's the medic. He's pulling everyone out, human and Dominion alike. A medic saving the enemy? Madness. But the stories grew worse. Our scouts found abandoned camps where every wounded soldier, human and alien, was alive, treated, and left with a single message burned into the ground. "You don't die today." The first encounter. I saw him myself 2 days later. We were pinned under orbital bombardment, our armor failing, smoke thick enough to choke guards. Through the haze came a figure, unarmed, blood-soaked, dragging a wounded soldier twice his size. A human, his eyes burned with exhaustion, not anger. "Hold still," he said calmly, kneeling beside me. "You're losing too much blood." I spat in his direction. "You're my enemy." He just shrugged. "Not today." He patched the wound, gave me water, and handed me a stim before turning away to help another. "Why?" I demanded. He looked back over his shoulder. "Because I'm the medic. That's my job." The legend grows. Within a week, every soldier on both sides knew his name. Corpsman Ward, the human medic who walked through fire, who ignored gunfire, who didn't care what uniform you wore. He treated the dying under orbital strikes. He stabilized our wounded when our own medics couldn't reach them. Sometimes he fought, not to kill, but to protect the patient. They said he'd broken a Dominion shock trooper's spine barehanded when the soldier threatened one of his patients. They said he carried entire squads out of no man's land while humming softly to calm them. And they said if you called his name, he would come. The enemy's fear. Our high command issued an order. Terminate the human medic. Priority 1. But the soldiers refused. Not out of cowardice, out of superstition. They said killing him would curse the battlefield. That wherever he died, no one would walk away alive. One night, during a ceasefire, I overheard a Dominion sniper whispering to his comrade, "If you see him, don't shoot, just pray." The human perspective. Later, captured human logs revealed something even stranger. The humans didn't see him as a hero. They saw him as reckless, dangerous. His commanding officers reprimanded him dozens of times for disobeying orders, risking himself, saving the enemy. His reply was always the same. Pain doesn't wear colors. Even his fellow soldiers couldn't decide whether to love or fear him. They called him Doc, the Ghost, and behind his back, the Last Mercy. The turning point. The war ended at the siege of Caltha's Gate. Both sides were exhausted. The ground was red, the skies black. Ward went missing that day. When the guns finally fell silent, we found him at the center of a crater, still alive, though barely. Around him lay soldiers from both armies, each one bandaged, stabilized, alive. He had dragged them all there. Alone. When we approached, he smiled weakly. "Told you," he murmured. "Nobody dies today." Then he collapsed. The aftermath. We sent him back to the humans under a flag of truce. The Dominion High Council declared him an enemy of the state. But among the soldiers, even ours. His name became sacred. We began marking the symbol of his field band, a white cross inside a circle, on medkits, on walls, on our wounded. It meant safe zone. Even in future wars, that symbol stopped the fighting, because everyone, human or alien, remembered what it meant. The name in fear. Years later, when new generations of Dominion soldiers faced humans again, the legend had twisted. The young ones didn't remember the medic. They only knew his name, whispered like a curse. Ward is coming. They didn't know who he was. They just knew that wherever that name appeared, no one died easily. And when they finally met the new human medics, soldiers wearing his symbol, they hesitated to fire, because somewhere deep inside, their ancestors' fears still lived. The truth of the monster. I still serve, though the wars are fewer now. Sometimes, in the field hospitals, I see humans training medics of other species. They teach us their ways, triage, care, compassion in the middle of fire. And when I ask one of them about the legend, they always smile. He wasn't special, they say. He was just human. That's when I understand why the galaxy fears them. Because the monsters in our stories didn't kill for pleasure. They healed, even when it hurt. And somehow, that made them even more terrifying. The last transmission. Before his death, Ward left one message on a Med-drone's log. If the enemy calls your name in fear, it's because they finally understand what mercy looks like.